Wednesday, the 16th of April, chemo day 1. As you can see, I'm back home. I sound like I've got a sore throat. I don't have a sore throat. It just sounds a little hoarse. I might have just been chatting to everyone a bit too much. Yeah, it went well. Cold cap for the docetaxel, which is the hair falling outy stuff. Interesting with that. By the end, the main thing you notice really is the tightness of the cap. They put, it feels like you're having your hair done first. They put stuff on your head. They give you a little cap underneath because there's not much hair on top there. But I do value what I have. They put a cap there to make sure I don't get frostbite. Then the big cap goes over, insulating cap goes over that, and it gets connected to two lines to a basically a fridge to chill it down. Interesting enough. The end of that, then so you have a 20-minute warm up, then 20-minute cool down, then then you have the session, and then once that's done, they give it a 20-minute run on as well, because obviously there's still nastiness circulating, and then they take it off. Interestingly, at first, then I had a bit of gauze under the front edge because I could feel the front soft plastic of the cap. And when I first took that off, I thought, I'll dab myself. I thought, oh, can't feel my scalp. Yeah, my scalp was it's an effective thing because my scalp was numb. So, you know, I was massaging a bit, you know, thinking, should I really be warming my scalp up this so much? Yeah, it was all right. And even when I nipped to the loo, it still felt like I was wearing a hat when I didn't have anything on my head. But that went well. And then there was the 2 hours of the leucovorin, which is otherwise known as folinic acid, and the oxaliplatin. That's the sensitive to the cold one. And I was checking as I was there. It's like, I've got a metal stand with the pumps and everything on. And I said, what's that metal like? Just touching it, and it's fine. And when I left the hospital afterwards, it was fine. You know, I'm carefully, I was standing in the reception area, just testing testing to see what the air is like, make sure it's not too bad. And no, it was pretty good. I had a scarf and gloves and hat just in case, and I had my proper coat, not just a fleece. But I ended up taking that off in the car because it was too bloody warm. So yeah, that went well. After that, then I was sent packing with the final thing. Or in between these, they do they flush the line as well. So draw blood out, saline flush, and you get a saline flush after every of the treatments as well to make sure every last drop. And they do use every last drop. If there's anything left in the bottle, they'll extend the run timer on the pump to run that tank that thing dry. The last one, the fluorouracil, I still have. I'm still on it because this is a 24-hour infusion. The pipe is running up there and down and plugged into my PICC line just in there. You can see I am still live. And you get this bum bag, which is on a strap, not elasticated strap, an adjustable strap. And in here we have this, and it's just a little tank which is running itself down, and it's completely pressure based. It'll just run itself. The only thing I've got to do is obviously make sure I stay attached to it. And the only thing they warn you, really, apart from obviously stay attached, don't let this get higher than heart level. And yeah, I listened to that. So, hey babe, I'll cut that bit out. I'm live on camera. So yeah, so that'll get disconnected by the district nurse tomorrow. What I also have are some things. I have a sharps bin, which will end up having a yellow lid. They didn't have the right lids. But that will be, the district nurse will put horrible things like this. They'll seal them off and chuck them in the bin. I also have a pack of drugs. There is ondansetron solution. This, I was given some when I was there at the start of treatment. And then I have one I've had not too long ago. I have one more in the morning, and that's it. So normally you have one for chemo, one for bed, one for breakfast, and that's it. And that's an antiemetic, so it stops you being sick. What else have I got in here? Metoclopramide. I think this, yeah, this is a more generic, again, antiemetic. It just says, yeah, 2 spoonfuls 3 times a day when required for nausea. So running onwards from that one, if I do feel sick at all, I can use this. If I don't feel sick at all, I can leave it as it is. So there's that one. What else we got? Oh, it's orange flavour. What else have we got in here? There are 2 bottles. Oh, there's the easy one. This is loperamide, otherwise known as Imodium, in case you got the shits. 2 boxes of them. And we also have dexamethasone, not dexamethadone. If I want that, I can get it from the druggy flats behind the house. Dexamethasone. Probably wouldn't be out of place in there actually, because this is steroids. And you take, so for 3 days, starting tomorrow, I take 4 spoonfuls once a day. So 4, 4, 4, stop. And then going forward, that will be again same thing. And the other one, oh, I think from that, yeah, I think that's the one which I start taking next time, the day before. So it would be day 4 treatment, day 4 treatment, district nurse unplugs, stop. What else have I got? I have an official rider card. I'm allowed to have steroids. From the Valley, of course I'm allowed to have steroids. But yeah, so I have 2 treatment cards that basically say he's on the roids, do not stop him taking the roids. He needs to have the roids. So yes, we've got that. Then that's all the drugs. There's a few bits and pieces then. This is the chin strap from the Cool Cap. It's not a memento. I'll take that back next time they use the same strap. And we have more moisture responsive catheter drip. Moisture responsive. You just work and you get wet, is it? Or do they have to soak it? I don't know. But this is a replacement dressing, not as super duper as the one they've given me to start with, because the one they put on initially, it's got a patch which is antiseptic. So it's, you know, this is the, you know, because this was fresh on, they make damn sure that that was clean. So there's a couple of these. These are for the district nurse, who gets to change these once a week. They may also get changed, depending on the day, once a minute a cycle. It would be possibly changed by the change of the chemo, change with the nurse, change the chemo, change with the nurse. And then we have other things. There are thermometer. Need to keep my temperature between 36 and 37.5. There's quite a wide range, but if it's outside that, it could be trouble. So, there's that. These are access ports. I think that's the port replacement for the PICC line. So if you've got the, so they change the port, you know, the port saver. They don't mess around with the purple one because that's part of the PICC line. Wear out the purple one, you got to change the line. So there's those, a couple of those for the for them. There's these things which are BD Chloraprep, which I think is for when they unplugged me, I think this is used for cleaning the port before they when they change things about. So there's those again for the district nurse. There's two of them. There are there's three of them. There are three port savers, and there are three chlorhexidine in 70% alcohol wipes. So yeah, so that's my collection of drugs. Side effects so far, an odd reaction to the cold, which I didn't notice at first. I thought, I seem fine with it. Okay, washed my hands. I ran my hands under the cold tap. My hands were fine until I grabbed the towel, and when I grabbed the towel, it felt like I grabbed a cold towel, a very cold towel. I said, oh, hang on, that's not right. So I ran the hot tap, washed my hands with that, all fine. Also a little bit of, not numbness, not exactly pins and needles, a bit oddity in some of my fingers where you feel just a little bit. And that was when I was outside the car. When I got in the car, this was not outside the hospital, outside the car, this was elsewhere. This was, the dog had been taken for a walk. And when I sat in the car, it went away. It's because I was sitting in the car, everything all hunched up more. I don't know. I think it might be in the cold. Imodium. I will be taking this. It could be side effects of pretty much any of the chemo drugs, including the one that's being tanked in now. Or it could be our sequences of the KFC or the hummus, which I had from Tesco's, which I had for supper. So it could be either, but it's probably the drugs. But yeah, I'll be having one of those. Apart from that, and like I said, sounding a bit hoarse, probably because too much gas in. I'm feeling fine so far. Things will change. I do have a book which I can diarise all my how I'm feeling on a day-by-day basis, anything I'm feeling, anything what, because chances are on the next cycle it's going to be the same. So you'll get, so you'll be able to look at your chart and you'll know which days it's not worth bothering to go shopping, because you probably won't want to come back home, because you'll run out of puff in the middle of Tesco's or whatever. So you'll work out when you know you're really good, when you know you're not so good. So yeah, so that's where we are with chemo round 1, day 1. Hopefully the cold cap did its thing, and this will stay put. My eyebrows, there's not much that I do have eyebrows, but I think they might not have been cold enough because they were at the very edge of the cap. They'd have been possibly compressed by the edge of the cap, so there'd have been a bit of a restriction in blood supply there. But somewhere around here, I expect you'll be able to see where the cap stopped, because I expect this to come out. Whether it's patchy or whether it comes out in one go, I don't know. I don't care. I'll leave it as it is. We'll see how it we'll see how it plays out and just see what sort of mess it makes. But that's where we are so far. Thursday, 17th. I slept downstairs last night because I had the tank on. You can't have the tank higher than your heart. Even if you lean over the stairs or lean down to pet the dog, you'll feel this is if you've ever used a blowtorch and you've upended it and it started to liquefy and you flare, or a lighter does the same thing. You do notice it quite quickly that it's, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. And because you've then got this thing attached to your side, what you don't want to do is roll over in the night and have this thing higher than the rest of you. So the easiest thing to do was to just sleep on the chair in the living room. It's reasonably comfy, but it was a little bit broken sleep. So I had a bit of a 2-hour catch up this afternoon. Just after 2 o'clock, district nurse arrived and unplugged me and changed my dressing. So that's that. Little bit of feeling sick this evening, so I did take the other antiemetic medication, and I've taken my first of the steroids this morning as well. Side effects from last night, yeah, the diarrhea. I don't think that was the KFC. You couldn't trust a fart last night, but fortunately this morning that's sorted. Something else from last night though, which was interesting, was I had food and it got stuck right there. It just didn't want to budge. So this was stag chili and pasta, and it stuck there. So went out to the loo with some water, try and flush it down. Couldn't shift it. Ended up regurgitating the water, just the water. Try some more, up again. Try some more, up again. So yeah, I tried doing it without the water and just regurgitated. And this time I was slightly sick. You know, it had that fizziness about it and a bit of bile. It was obviously gastric. But here's what happened then. If you're trying to consume something, you've basically only got gravity on your side, really. When you're trying to bring it back up, you've got all your chest muscles and whatnot pushing everything right back up, and the tumour, it can't cope with that. And it was difficult to bring up, but not impossible. It was like sort of, you know, if you're throwing up and you've got hardly anything left. Well, there wasn't much down there to start with, but it brought it up. So like 2 or 3 attempts and it cleared it. But the thing is, that tumour couldn't get in the way. Going down, it was quite happily just blocking everything going through. Coming up, everything went, nope, coming through. And I mean, a Father Ted analogy would be that the equivalent of kicking Bishop Brennan up the arse. Because that tumour just got knocked to the side. It's like, you're going to stop me eating then? It's like, oh. Just some water. You're going to stop that? Oh. Straight down. So, back out, carried on eating. And it was a lot easier. Food basically, it was a bit slow going still, but it certainly went through a lot better. So, you know, originally it just like stopped. It's like nothing's going down. This is just staying put. So that actually did help with me getting food through. And to be honest, it's been a little bit easier to eat today. Appetite's down a little bit, but you know, I know I do need to eat, and when my appetite comes back, I can play catch up on that anyway. So that's where we are so far. Oxaliplatin, the cold sensitivity is still there. I'm just taking it easy with that and remembering to use the hot tap instead of the cold tap. But yeah, nothing else to report. Oh, had another esophageal migraine today. I don't think it's to do with the medication, because I had the one on the way over to get the CT scan done. I had to pull over for that because it was just buggered. You know, he's trying to drive and he can't see road signs. It's not good. And it turns out my wife gets the same thing from time to time. Interesting little light show. So yeah, that's where we are so far. So this is day after chemo. Well, day after some of the chemo, some of it unplugged today. District nurse changed the dressing, replumbed the thing. She did use a needle. I'm not sure, obviously not on me, but I wouldn't have thought she'd have needed to use a needle because the valve wasn't paying much attention at the time. So, she just knackered the valve up. But yeah, so there's new dressing on there. And the next thing now, obviously, there'll be these daily updates as you see what the see what side effects come and go. And I'll next see the district nurse on Monday, even though it's a bank holiday Monday, to do another dressing change, because the dressing gets changed every 7 days and they do it on a Monday. So it'll be change dressing, take bloods, change dressing, take bloods, change dressing through the fortnightly cycle. And I'll also see the district nurse on the Thursday then, again, to do the unplugging. So Monday, Thursday with the district nurse. Yeah, so that's what we are so far. Something else to note, these temperature sensors. This is the one I had given to me by the nurses. This is one I had from Amazon. It's actually an ovulation thermometer, much the same, just an extra decimal point. And I noticed last night that this one said that I was at 40 degrees. I was standing here, 40-degree fever temp according to this. It was beeping, it was not happy. So I went up and got this one and did the same thing again, both of them under the tongue. Now this is currently showing 36.2, this one's showing 36.4. This was showing me 37.5, and this was showing much the same again. I think it was like 36.6. So I mean, if I'd gone for this one first time, 40 degrees, that's fever temp. You're supposed to call that in. This thing was saying, no, you're actually fine. I felt fine. So something worth doing with these, I think, when they're first issued. When you're in the hospital and you're issued one, try one. Get a reading, and as soon as it gives you a reading, get the reading from the proper one, the nurse's one, and see how it's comparing, because this was not giving me an accurate reading at all last night compared to this one. It was quite a way out. So it'd be worth finding out to make sure that when you're given one of these thermometers that it's actually an accurate one, because I don't know why it was reading so far out. But that could, that can cause panic stations. So yeah, worth bearing that in mind. I will be taking both of these when I go back to the hospital for round 2, and I'll try doing that. We'll get a measurement from both of them, both under the tongue, both in the same place, and we'll see how these compare with the official, the one they use in the hospital. Friday 18th. Tired today. Not wrecked, just a lazy day, sort of lazy Saturday really, except it's bank holiday, Good Friday, so maybe that's just normal. I don't know, it could be. It's a bit not knackered. Haven't been for an afternoon nap. I think I went for an afternoon nap. No, and just a little bit down on power. I probably could have had a bit more caffeine and I'd have been fine. The oxaliplatin side effects of the cold sensitivity has worn off today. I didn't notice it this morning, so I can wash my hand under the cold tap without it feeling very cold. I can pick up my MacBook without it feeling very cold. Felt a little bit sicky this morning, so took some of the anti-sickness medication. That was it. It's just the once. Apart from that, feeling okay. Did have food tonight. Oh, my weight was down a little bit. I've had food and it's back up to 99 point odd according to the scales. I keep looking over there because that's what the scales are. So I'm down a little bit. I mean, I was down to, I've been 101 for most of this period. I was 100 for the consultancy on Tuesday, and was 100 for the start of the chemo. So half a kilo down from that. That's not bad going. Friday night curry night, I managed about half of it. I ate the chicken dumpad karai. I didn't have much of the mushroom rice to go with it, but I did have the poppadoms. Thought I'd need to go and throw up to try and make room for food, but just about managed to get stuff through. So maybe it would have been easier if I'd done that, but it would have been a waste of food then. So yeah, that's where we are so far. And touch wood, this hasn't come out yet, but we'll see. Saturday, 19th. Been married a week already. She hasn't killed me yet. Excuse the fan noise in the background. Mrs. Baking me a cake, trying to make me fat. Today, no real side effects more than yesterday. There was a little bit of odd sort of tanginess when eating some things, but I've noticed that the past few days anyway. For example, if I have pistachios, I get the sort of weird sort of tanginess there. Food, I've eaten bits and pieces today, but I had grub. Normally, on Saturday night we'll have a wrap. Well, 2 wraps, maybe 3 if we're really greedy. I had 1 wrap and I was full. So I went and had a chocolate mousse and it just disappeared straight on the hatch. So I had another one, then I had a chalk ice. So there is room down there, definitely. I might go and have another chalk ice now, actually. I mean, calories. The important thing is calories. Get something down the bloody hatch. You know, I had a pot noodle earlier on. Doesn't exactly sound, tasty. What have I had today? I've had a Huel, I've had a pot noodle, I've had a wrap, I've had 2 Miss Molly's chocolate puddings and a Magnum chalk ice and a can of Monster. And I think that's it. So I will have something else before bed, because you need to keep the calories up. Now, I haven't been on the exercise bike. I haven't had time to go on the exercise bike between wedding prep, wedding day, day after wedding, PICC line, consultancy, chemo, day after chemo, day after chemo, day after chemo. I'm the last of the steroids for this round this morning, and looking into it, I believe they are anti-inflammatory, so they're not for getting pumped. It's because it was mentioned to me that this thing under treatment will get angry. It'll get angry and it'll sort of get angry, which kind of makes sense, because I did have food earlier on. I did a mouthful of the wrap, and it ended up down in the toilet. I couldn't wash it down. It just came back up. So washed some more down, and this time I was able to carry on eating more normally. Possibly helped with a bit of Gaviscon. Just chuck a slug of Gaviscon down just to give it a bit of coating, give it a little bit of a thing. But anyway, back to the steroids. I believe they're anti-inflammatory because that's getting attacked. It gets angry, it gets inflamed. So the roids should counter that, I think, so it gets hammered in peace. No other symptoms so far. See, it's not coming out yet. But obviously, we'll wait and see. The cake's not ready yet. But the trouble with the cake is I'll have cake, I'll look at it and I'll go, I haven't really got room for cake. But it will go down the hatch. As will the chalk ice. Bank Holiday Monday, 21st of April. Last night was a rough one. Well, relatively rough. I went to bed fairly early. Not sleepy, but exhausted. So I was wide awake, but I had no energy to do anything. And I was all night tossing and turning, sleep a bit, wake a bit, sleep a bit, wake a bit. Like I said, not tired, but exhausted. It was just really exhausted. Better today, this afternoon. I mean, this morning I woke up, came downstairs, I had the alarm set for 8 o'clock, because the district nurse was due today anyway. Went back upstairs, and just lay down along the bed and just vegged out for another half an hour watching YouTube videos. Not real YouTube videos. I was basically zonked out on the bed, virtually watching YouTube videos just being conjured up in my head, watching Mendit Mark repairing some random stuff. The laptop was downstairs. This was just all going on in my head. So anyway, eventually got back up. District nurse came and sorted out the dressing. So I've got a different dressing now. It's a slightly simpler dressing. Now this bit has changed possibly since you saw it last anyway, because they patched it up after disconnecting it. But it's a simpler dressing. That was a relief, getting that thing off. Have a chance to have a scratch of the skin after having it on for a week. But you can see it's not got the great big gob of antiseptic stuff there. It's a simpler one which just goes over. And the attachment which held that in place is now off. So this was what held the one end of the PICC line. So the little butterfly, as soon as it comes out on the end of the blue line, that was in this snapped shut. So that's now been taken off and can go in the bin. So they don't give you the full bells and whistles when the district nurse comes around. It's a more simple thing now. So district nurse sorted that out, chatting to the nurse. Next thing, the blood pressure starts to drop again. I start to feel myself going. So I grabbed a cooling fan, because a bit of fresh air usually sorts me out, and the nurse got me a mug of water. So I'm chatting away to her, yeah, this is the sort of thing that happens. It happens when I go to the dentist, yada, yada, yada. All this talking about my ears are clogged up. So anyway, I sort myself out. She goes, and I go back upstairs and hook myself up to the home med again. And I brought this in the house last night because I was feeling so damn rough. I thought, let's have a look and see what my oxygen levels are on the display, and they were just showing as normal. This doesn't pick up, I believe, if you're anemic. It doesn't. Anemia, where you got a lack of red blood cells, it doesn't tell that. It'll just give a percentage of whatever is there is working, I think. So yeah, that's how rough I was last night. It's like, let's see what on earth is going on. So anyway, went upstairs for a lie down, hooked myself up, and you can see my heart rate at the moment is 114 because I'm moving around a bit. It'll settle down in a minute, down to about 80 odd. I was looking at my heart rate, and this is after the nurse had gone, and I'm back to normal now, and it was at 52. And it's like, yeah, God knows what it was when the nurse was here. But I thought, yeah, I'm just going to veg out for half an hour and let it come back up. And yeah, when I came back up afterwards, it was, got back up afterwards, it was more like, he was around the 70 odd mark, something a bit more respectable. But so yeah, so that's where we were last night. Today, better. Yesterday wasn't too bad. I mean, I went and took my wife back to her house because she doesn't live here yet, and that was fine in the afternoons. It was the evening where I sort of started to run down on power, and today it's back up. I vegged. I haven't eaten an awful lot. Ben's original to the rescue tonight because I can get that down the hatch with very little bringing back up. That's important because if you down food and then you bring it back up, well, you might as well not have eaten it. You've just wasted it. But Uncle Ben's 2 packs of Ben's rice, that's 700 calories down the hatch, and it stayed down the hatch. One thing I find I do get sometimes now is a bit of thick saliva at the back of my throat, and easy way to get rid of that is either just go and gob it up, or if your mouth, if you don't have any ulcers yet or something like that, and so far I've been lucky with that regard. I've not had any side effects of mouth ulcers. Bit of orange juice, just to gargle with it. Gargle it, down it, spit it out, whatever. But it cuts right through whatever phlegm is at the back of your throat, and it's starting to potentially trigger your gag reflex. So yeah, just a quick swig. And that's shifted it straight away. Cuts right through. So if you can, that's my tip. Pineapple, not so much. I tried pineapple the other day. I think it stayed down for about 30 seconds. Straight back up again. But that's my tip for that. So that's where we are so far. Hopefully over the worst of the side effects now. Like I said, last night was rough. I've got the diary so I can keep tabs of which days are the bad days. So you know then for your next cycle when to expect, which days it's like just veg out. Wednesday. Can't remember what date it is. Still been having problems getting food down and problems with lack of appetite as well. So those are two amber flags. Two amber flags make a red, so called it in today. It's good to talk to them, to be honest. Initially rang the 24-hour cancer helpline, which goes through to Cheltenham. Good chat with the nurse on the phone there. They suggested to contact the upper GI nurses, upper gastrointestinal nurses at Hereford Hospital, who've been dealing with me, and see what they have to say. And if necessary, go back to the Cheltenham lot. So spoke to them, and yeah, good to talk. And so she rang me back. I had to leave a message. She rang me back, and she rang me back again and asked, "What's your steroid medication?" And I told her, and it's like, "Well, you took the 3 days and then just stopped." I said, "Yeah, because that's what it says on the bottle." I said, "Oh, it might be that. That might be causing the inflammation to flare back up." So she's spoken to one of the doctors again, who I've been dealing with. One of the consultants. I think he's a doctor as well. But yeah, sometimes you get doctors who become beyond doctors. I'm waffling now, but I think he is still a doctor. Anyway, so upshot of it is, I'm going back on the metoclopramide, which is metoclopramide. Metoclopramide, the anti-sickness meds. Taking 2 of those 3 times a day, because apparently that helps with getting the esophagus flowing properly. But also a low-level dose of the steroids. So the big bottle in here has a different dose thing on it. That one actually starts the day before treatment. So there's a higher dose, then it goes down to a lower dose, and then it stops. But we're not going to be stopping for now, at least. When it says stop, I'll actually have a lower dose of 2 spoonfuls of this twice a day. So I'm going to have that baseline of anti-inflammatory steroids. And we'll see how we get on. I've had some food today, but some of the Ultra Plens. The hazel chocolate Ultra Plen, no one's got in stock. And having tried it, you can tell why. Someone's just sitting on a throne of that stuff. You're not having my hazel chocolate Ultra Plen. So I'll contact the surgery tomorrow to see if I can get the half of the prescription changed to either open-ended to any flavour, or make it so I can switch that one to banana instead. I've got the strawberry. They can get banana, they can get vanilla. Vanilla's a bit, yeah. Vanilla's okay, but the rest are better. And I'll see if I can get that opened up. Bit of a sore throat, as you can hear by my voice. This is the time when to record greetings on your answer phone. So yeah. it tends to happen after I get a sore throat. It drops my voice down for a couple of days, so I get this. I get this. So yes, that's where we are now. The tiredness has worn off. I can't remember if I mentioned that before. It's that real low ebb where I was just wrecked. That's thankfully gone. But what I have noticed though, because I've been struggling to eat, is my hands are looking visibly slightly wrinkled. My fingers are looking slightly wrinkled, as though I'm sort of eating into the fat reserves of my skin. So that's not good. But fortunately, my wife made me some corned beef. The ring's upstairs. My wife made me some corned beef mash earlier on, which is corned beef in mashed potato, served up, dollop it out onto a plate, and served with gravy. Very nice. And most of it, virtually all of it, I keep looking over there, the monitor's there. There, look in the camera. Yeah, virtually all of it went down, stayed down. So that's good. And hopefully as this starts to take effect more as well, hopefully that'll help. So we'll have a two-pronged attack. Is this stopping the inflammation, plus the chemo attacking it. And hopefully we'll start to see some stuff there. But there are options. They will be checking in with me again on Friday. So it was good to tell them. It's important to tell them. Don't make a problem into a crisis. They're there to help. They'd rather you tell them and it turns out it's nothing. And to be honest, you'd rather they tell you it's nothing. It is good to talk to them, and they're happy that they've got it on record now, and they've told the Gloucester and Cheltenham lot as well, so they're aware that I'm having problems feeding. And like I said, they'll check in on Friday and see how I got on with tonight's food, and see if they have to do any sort of further interventions. There are options. They could put a feeding tube in early. They could put a stent in, if that obviously depends on where the growth is in relation to the thing. Is it somewhere where you can stent it back out, or is it just too damned awkward? That's obviously a camera down, but again, I assume it wouldn't be camera all the way down, not this time. They're not rodding out your duodenum. They shouldn't have to do a figure of 8 in your stomach to point back up. It ought to be down, back up. So there are options, and if this does the job, it may not come to that. We shall see. It's another little late night catch up. I've just watched back what you just saw just to see how far I'd gotten. I didn't realise I've not talked to the camera for a few days. Friday, they contacted me, pointed out, yeah, feeding better, corned beef mash went down great, so they're happy. So that baseline of steroids seems to be helping. Friday night, curry night, it's a regular thing. Slight difference this time, didn't go for rice, had an aloo gobi, which is potatoes and broccoli, I think, and that instead of rice, but with chicken madras. Initially going down, back up, so back down, back up. Eventually managed to get it to behave, and that, I'm pretty sure, was the last time I brought something up. Saturday, corned beef mash, mint sauce. Mint sauce goes with anything. Salt, pepper, gravy, load of gravy. Down the hatch it goes. Go get another helping. Down the hatch that goes, and stays as long as I don't bolt it. You can have a little bit of corned beef mash, and down it goes, no problem at all, and it's delicious. So I've been lucky there. So that was Saturday. Sunday, I think I had the same thing again. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't remember. Monday, went to Cheltenham. Little tip for you. If your guts are a little bit dicky, take some spare clothes, and don't leave them locked in the car, because 10 minutes before I was doing the meeting, I was rinsing my boxer shorts in the hospital sink, in the toilets. So, because I did get caught short. So, yeah, a bit TMI there for you, but it is what it is. Anyway, it was supposed to be a 2 interview things. Actually worked out as 3. So first of all, they took bloods, 4 bloods. Excellent nurse. She couldn't use the PICC line because she didn't have the correct syringes for drawing from a PICC line. So it was sharp scratch time again. And I'm not a fan of needles, so I'm looking over that way while she's working. And I said to her, I know what you're doing, because I can hear what you're doing. What I can't do is feel what you're doing, because she held the needle absolutely arrow straight. The needle didn't budge. And in the back, and she's actually flipping one vial off, putting another vial on, drawing from that one, filling that one up, another one on, drawing that. She filled 4 vials. And that needle didn't budge an inch. There was no pushing, no pulling, nothing. Absolutely perfect. You know, that's just, you know, when you get a skilled jabber, she was really one of the way up there, really good. Anyway, from there then, she also wanted some swabs. So swabs up the nose, great. I'm getting over lurgy. Swabs up my nose, God knows what they're going to pick up now. Another swab down the groin. Yeah, don't forget where I was earlier on. That's going to be a proper trampy bloody swab now, isn't it? But it is what it is. We shall see. The other thing they needed was blood pressure, and I was showing a little high. It was a warm day, and for me it was a little bit more stressful than normal because of what's going on. I mean, I was trying my damnedest to wear my my WebEx weatherproof top round my waist. It's like, no, put all this stuff there. It's, oh God, here we go. Anyway, blood pressure's a little high. But I pointed out I've got a telemedicine unit in the house, so they said, right, we want 6 readings. Ring us in on the 3rd with 6 different readings. So I've got a couple of readings so far. Basically what I'm doing is doing on the telemedicine thing, take a photo. So getting those, and we'll come back to that in a sec as well. So build up a pile of those and then ring them in. Just right, these are the figures on this date. These are the figures on this date. Bang, 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 bang. Because if it is too high for them, they will refer back to the GP to try and get my blood pressure down. Because what they don't want is someone with high blood pressure in the operating theatre. They want you calm. They're fairly calm. I'm not usually a high blood pressure person. Like I said, it was a warm day and getting over lurgy. So that was Monday, and it's about 2.5 hours drive each way. So it was that. Then there was another meeting then with someone filling in a big questionnaire. She had to race through this questionnaire for the anaesthetist. It's the only time I've ever felt rushed with any of this. And it's basically because she had to do it because she was up against the clock for the anaesthetist interview, which was coming right next. But she was racing through. But she did it. All fair, all good. Like I said, there was a reason for this being rushed. It's because it was back to back. And there's loads of questionnaires, you know, ticking all sorts of things to make sure you smoke, if you ever had any stent splints, whatever. You know. So some bits are similar to like the MRI checklist where they make sure there's nothing in you that an MRI machine is going to pull out. Asking, have you ever had any reactions to anaesthetic? I mean, I know of a general anaesthetic in the early 80s. And my only reaction to that was when I came round, I saw double. If I had my finger there, I could see it. Anywhere else, I was squint. And that just clicked, it was just as I come round. But that was for having my arm reset, and it was I was out. 2 seconds later, it felt like I was back. That's fine. So I told them about my reaction to local anaesthetic as well, make them aware of that, so they know, just in case. So fill in all this stuff, and then off to speak to an anaesthetist. Not necessarily the anaesthetist. She is still on the tools, but she might not be on the tools that day. Not for me. Not least because apparently the op will be back in Gloucester, not Cheltenham. They have some centres of excellence for doing some stuff, and apparently Gloucester is the one for chopping bits of guts out. So, chatting to her, and she came with a chart which shows your risks of, during the operation of various things, including death, 0.7%. There were 2 ambers on there, which were average. Everything else was below average. Even the averages were a touch below average. In fact, I'll put it up on screen now, and you can see there are 2 average risks on there. One is return to the operating room, which would be, for example, if the stitches there, because they're cutting a pipe and having to move things up and stitch it back together, there's a chance the stitches can leak. And that would be back in. But they'll detect that. And because they'll detect, if your body's starting to get digested by stomach juices, it's going to show signs of stress. Even if I can't feel it, it'll show on my stats. So there's that one, and there's another one. I can't remember which one it is now, but it's up on screen now. But there's those 2. Everything else you can see is all really good. It also says at the top what the operation is expected to entail. There's quite a bit. But obviously it may depend on how much of a pasting the chemo gives it. So I'm kicking that down the road as it could be that, it might be simpler. We shall see. I won't know until I wake up and it turns out that, once they switch me off for doing the work, it's, they can do what they like. What they will offer is an epidural, which I assume they will do while I'm out, because it is an injection into the spine, and apparently you'll get a numb band, and they'll keep that numb band topped up and numb. And what that means then is, because you've got no pain there, you're not going to be tense. And if you're not tense, you're not going to be risk of straining and stressing and coughing or something like that, which would bust stitches, so it's safer. And so I said to her, it's like, you've managed to take a needle in the spine and managed to upsell it, which takes some doing, to be fair. So, like I said, I assume they'll do that while I'm shut down. And I said, the important things are, you put me under, you keep me under, you get me up afterwards. And she said, we can put anyone under and we can bring anyone back. So she's confident. So yeah, it was a good chat. It's a long way there and a long way back, but it was a good chat to have, and having this thing as well. And it also shows an estimate based on all those stats of how long they think I'll be in hospital. And considering what they're chopping out, they're chopping bits of pipework out, they're moving stomach, they're plumbing, they're doing various bits of, as plumbing, it's relatively simple, but at the same time, it's complex. You're snipping bits of pipework out and moving things about. I wouldn't want to do the job. And 5 days. The estimate, all goes well, I'll be in hospital. At least part of that will be high dependency unit, so intensive care, ITU, whatever. There's lots of acronyms for the same place. So the high dependency unit, the intensive care unit, I'll be in there for at least some of that, but only 5 days, and then off you go. Brilliant. So that was Monday. First thing Monday, because this was at 1 o'clock, the district nurse had to come early. I think the district nurse was here by about 9 o'clock, because the district nurse needed to take bloods. Because I said to them, it's like 10:30, I've got to be out the door, because I've got to get to Cheltenham. So they came early, got the bloods, changed the dressing. I didn't react at all this time, which is good, and off we went. Straight off to, as soon as that was done, we went straight off to Cheltenham. Tuesday, telephone consultancy, just confirming, yep,
your bloods are all good. So the bloods they check are red blood cell count, kidney, liver. Make sure you've not wrecked any of that stuff. So yeah, all good. I said, well, I am getting over lurgy. And she said, as long as you're not in the full throes of it, then it's fine. So I said, right. Because what I didn't want to do was go in and spread it to a lot of immunocompromised people. And she said, if they're immunocompromised, they're not in the room. They don't have them in the room. If they're in undergoing chemo, they're healthy enough to have chemo. So that's fine. And it's like, okay, yep, we'll see you at 8:30. Great. So I left South Wales this time. So Tuesday, I was driven down. My sister picked me up and drove me down to South Wales. This morning, 7:15, we were on the road. 8:25. Got in. There was a bit of traffic, a bit of wrong turns, a bit of traffic, but 8:25, I was dropped off. Mother and stepfather went to, I told them, go park down Cantaloupe Street, go for a walk in the park. You got hours free parking there. Go have a mooch around the park and then go do some shopping. So they did some shopping, went to the pub, and so it was fine. And 2:00, I was out the door. While I was there, someone got to ring the bell, and instantly, automatically, instinctively, whole round of applause burst out in the room when the bell got rung. You know when someone drops a plate and a cheer goes up? Same thing again. Ding, ding, ding. Big round of applause. So brilliant. Someone has been given the green light today and gone out there cancer-free. So really nice. Cold cap on again today. What I noticed today during the treatment is some beard hairs coming out. Not many. There's one there then. And mainly the white ones. But I just grabbed a little clump there. Now this is, when you had docetaxel a fortnight ago, so it's not going to be that. It'd be a bit of a coincidence for exactly 14 days for it to suddenly start pulling bits of hair out. But I am getting some there. Some hair is firm. It's not what I'm grabbing today. That was under the cold cap, so I think that's okay. My eyebrows, I think I'll put hairs on my eyebrows anyway. But yeah, I think my eyebrows were cool enough. And I'll put these up top of my hair. Mrs. pulled them off the top of my head the other day, so I'm trying to save those. But yeah, so there's some beard coming out. But not too bad. And I've had a lot of steroids. It's because of that baseline dose, and we've got bank holidays coming up. They do not want you to run out. So I've got several bottles. It's not going to go to waste, because if I go down to my last bottle, I can check it. I can check in. But we're 2 rounds in on 8 rounds of chemo. This stuff is going to get used up. So it's not that they're wasting the stuff. It's part of the treatment anyway. So it's not going to go to waste. It's just I've got plenty in stock. And some more Imodium, thankfully, because I'd used a lot of that up. As you can hear, my throat's a little bit hoarse again. I was coughing my guts up in there. It's like, you okay? Do you want us to open the door? I said, it's fine. When I get a cough these days, it usually takes me 5 or 6 weeks to shift a cough. So don't worry about me coughing my guts up. I'm fine. So, but yeah, all good. Got more episodes of Black Mirror as I'm in there. And yeah, so I am tanked up on the a bum bag of fluorosil again. So the district nurse will be here tomorrow at something after 2:00 to unplug that, because about 2:00 is when it went in. And apparently this is where the metering is done. That thing is what sets the dose. So it's not the tank pressure. This is metering it. And apparently it's to do with body temperature and stuff like that as well. So that is where the brains are going on, not the actual tank. So learn something new every day. I think that's it for now. I don't think there's anything else to waffle about. I've had food tonight. Food went down. Oxaliplatin, I've had slight reaction to oxaliplatin. I mean, I came out today with my jacket on, with my scarf on, with my hat. I don't think I had the hat on. Well, yes, I did. I put the hat on just out of the way. Straight to the car, that's went straight back off. It's been such a gorgeous day today. Oxaliplatin, cold hypersensitivity, all the way back from Hereford. I got my arm in the window like that, and it's fine. So I do still have some. I'm not touching anything from the freezer right now because it will lock me down. If I have something cold now, it'll lock. The Chemo will just go, pop. No, nothing's coming through now. So you get like if I have a swig of that now. Looks like dishwater. I can't remember if I said this. This is water, lemon juice, lime juice. That's all. Looks like dishwater, and it's quite refreshing. But I mean, it's room temperature. It's been room temperature for a little while. Let's just see what happens. Will it lock up? I'm going easy with it, but I think if I swig that, I just lock up, and I think nothing's going past now. But I think I can, if I'm careful with it and warm it up, I think I'm okay. So that's where we are now. No diarrhea tonight. Funny enough, not like last week. Perhaps it was the KFC last time, but. I've not had to wipe down the sofa this time. So, yeah, fingers crossed we're okay with that. Like I said, it's interesting that oxaliplatin, oh, there we go. Another couple of whites. And some of them huge, like sort of inch-long nostril hairs that turn up out of nowhere. So where the hell's that come from? So, yeah, so I think the beard is going to get a wallop this time round. But we'll see. I'm not having a shower tonight because I've got the bum bag on. I don't want to get that wet. I don't mind getting the PICC line wet. I've got the limbo thing for that, but not while I'm plumbed in. So it might be that I end up clogging up the plug hole tomorrow night. We shall see. But yeah, I've waffled enough for now. I'll catch you on the next one. Right. Sunday, May the 4th be with you. Friday night, carry night, wasn't successful. Well, it was slightly more successful than the previous one, but it was still not successful. I think I lost at least 3 pipefuls going down, coming back up. What was interesting this time is when I was bringing it up, I was bringing up some bile as well. You could taste there was stomach juices in there as well, which is kind of a good sign, I think, because previously that wasn't able to get past. Only once I managed to drive anything like that past. So I think it means that it's starting to sort of starting to be under attack. However, I do. I think I need to knock Friday night carry night on the head for a little while. Not because of on the way down, but on the way out. I think my guts need a bit of retraining because yesterday they were not happy. We'll leave it at that. No accidents, but they were not happy. Voice, as you can hear, my voice is coming back. I lost my voice completely yesterday. This is to do with the tail end of that bug that's going around. So yeah, my voice is a bit knackered. What else? Oh, the beard. As you can see, I've still got my beard, but I am still pulling lots of beard out. This isn't going to last long, I don't think. I've not noticed any hair come away from anywhere else, but my beard is definitely under attack. You know, I just swept up a load there. So yeah, I thought I'd just fill you in with that last chance while this is still there, maybe. We'll see.
Tuesday the 13th of May, just about. As you can see, the chemo has definitely had a good old go at my beard. No other hair, funny enough. My arm hair it's left that alone. It just seems to have gone for the face. Eating is improving. I've discovered I can eat muesli. I did chance my arm at a Burger King yesterday, and most of it went down. Some did come back up with a bit of slobber and stuff. It was the Doritos chicken things, they struggled to go down. And some things need a bit of assistance. Pot noodles are quite light, so they need a bit of flushing or they'll sit there. They'll go down, but they need a swig of something. Had a phone call pretty much out of the blue on Friday from Gloucester Hospital, just checking in, see how I was doing, which is nice. So a little bit of a chin wag with the nurse there. I got to go back to Gloucester Hospital, not this Thursday now, the Thursday after. It would have been this Thursday, but it's going to clash with unplugging me from the chemo. As you can hear, my voice is still not right, but it's still, bloods were on Monday, dressing, changing bloods. Phone call today with Dr. Brown again, one of the consultants, who's confirmed here blood tests are all okay. I mentioned to him about the Add Aspirin trial, which is a trial where they've discovered that it's ongoing at the moment, but if you take an aspirin a day, apparently when a cancer breaks cells off and they start to go and find some new bit of the body to go and find, aspirin helps the body seek those cells out when they go off on a wander and they go, hang on, you're going nowhere, and nails it. That's what I grasp so far with the Add Aspirin trial. The Add Aspirin trial is closed to new patients. But I asked the doctor, I said, are you okay with me taking an aspirin a day? I found that soluble aspirin I can put in with various other things, and it doesn't give me any issue. It doesn't fizz anything. So and he's happy with me to do that. So that's fine. So yeah, all systems go with blood tests, which means tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to be in Hereford, and I'll be on my way back then at about 2 p.m. So it is about midnight now. I need to have a quick shower. I've done another episode of Black Mirror on the bike, only a short one this time, but just to get some exercise, because I don't want to do exercise once I've done the chemo. But I thought, smash a bit of exercise, wear me out, quick shower now, bed, and alarm set for stupid o'clock. Right, Saturday, 17th of May, I've woken up ahead of the alarm again. As you hear, my voice is still not right. Chemo day came and went. It was booked through, no problem at all. It was 8:30 in, about 2 o'clock we left. I had a doze through most of it, to be honest. I got to bed a bit late. With the cold cap on, it was pressing down on my eyes, so the easiest thing to do was just shut them. So, I just had a doze. So that went okay. Surprisingly, I mean, this is round 3, and I think it's hit me less hard than the previous one. The first one walloped me. I had that initial... There was that night when I went to bed wrecked. I mean, I went to bed a bit tired last night, but it's because it was late. It was a long day and it was late. So, so I think this time round, it's almost like I'm getting used to it. I mean, I'm getting side effects still, but it's changing. I mean, for example, first time round, I needed to use the metoclopramide, the anti-sickness medication. You feel a little bit queasy, so you'd have that. This time round, so far, I've not needed to use the metoclopramide. I've not felt queasy. I've had the pins and needles from the oxaliplatin. I got sort of pins and needles, so my toes now, but it's like, so, it is what it is. You just don't notice, and you forget about it. If I walk barefoot on the floor out there, I notice it more there. But yeah, the thing that's bugging me this time is, as you can see, the beard hasn't changed much since. I think this is probably the original chemo. It started attacking this on round 2. So I've got this basically die-hard straggly hair now. But this is the only hair that the chemo has gone for. It's not gone for my arm hair, chest hair. Obviously I had the cold cap on, so this is still as it was. It's not attacked any of that. It's just gone for the hair on my face. But something has buggered up my taste buds. And I'm not impressed, because I ate one of them last night, Tan of the Ride, the Dragon's Fire hot chicken curry, hence the name. And it tasted, to be honest, quite bland. And these are usually pretty pokey. So I've got a Bombay Bad Boy pot noodle here for breakfast at 7:42. I've only gone for the regular 400 calorie one. The king pot is still in the cupboard. But it's not that hot. Normally, one of these is quite a bit of kick to it. The Bombay Bad Boys, incidentally, if you do these with a bit less water, serve it up on a naan bread. That's a nice one for you. Just slop it on. But yeah, it's not... I'm missing a lot of spice. The heat bit. I mean, it's got flavour, but it's definitely somewhat subdued. I mean, that is okay. I mean, other things. I mean, this is this weird concoction here. Oh, I need to grab some stuff. Actually, this is Tesco Red Berry Infusions tea things, a vitamin C tab, a Barocca tab, an aspirin. Because I'm doing the unofficial add aspirin thing, just bang an aspirin a day down. Does help. Well, it may help. Hopefully it'll help. And so this grim looking concoction is actually it's actually pretty good. Sometimes I'll chuck a cherry menthol sweet in there as well. But that tastes fine. But yeah, it's the spice seems to have been lessened. My mouth feels a little bit numb. We just as well have had mouth ulcers, but no, not getting any ulcers, not get that particular side effect. But yeah, it's weirdly a mild week for chemo round 3 for me. Go figure. Oh, I did make a cock up. They offered me the 2 more bottles of steroid medication because the amount of steroids I'm on, and I'm like, it's all right. I've got loads of bottles of steroids in the house. It should be fine. I come have a look. Yeah, 3 bottles of metoclopramide and a lot less bottles of steroids. But I've got to go to Gloucester again week Thursday. So Thursday now, next Thursday. So I'll give them a ring in Hereford and see if I can call in on the way back and pick up the steroids. But I am on a lower dose now. Still the same through the chemo dose, the crazy spec doses, but the maintenance dose now is just going to be 2 once a day instead of 2 twice a day. And the easiest thing to deal with that is to come up with a table. Can the camera see that? There we go. So basically, for every day, what steroids I'm supposed to be taking, and I tick them off as I go through. And I didn't take yesterday's, but I did take yesterday's. Today's is supposed to be 4 spoonfuls in the morning. Normally that'll be it. And then I'll be going on my maintenance dose of 2 spoonfuls every morning. So yeah, so that's where we are so far. I said, looking older because of the it's only the straggly die-hard hairs that are left now on there. But yeah, I'm feeling okay. That's the important thing. All right, a little bit of a catch-up. My voice still isn't right, but it's been worse than this. So it's the first time I'm being able to actually record something properly. But anyway, since last time, 22nd of May, I had a call to go to Gloucester Royal Hospital again to see another consultant who is actually going to be the one, I believe, who will be doing the surgery. So he went into a lot more detail about what's going to happen. And basically, because they remove the tumour and they remove healthy tissue nearby to make sure there's nothing nasty lurking in that, my lower esophageal sphincter, that's going, as is the top of my stomach and as is the lower 2/3 of my esophagus. And they're going to perform what is known as an Ivor Lewis surgery, named after the person who actually did the thing first. And basically, top of the stomach, bottom of the esophagus, move that up, join it together. Like I mentioned before, he went into a bit more detail with it because I asked, and I probably shouldn't have asked, because partway through him telling me all this and going through it, I started to go a bit woozy again. So I did say, I'm starting to go a bit. I should be fine. They offered me the bed at the other side of the room. So now I should be okay. I should be okay. Hindsight, I should have taken the bed. Fresh air is normally okay. Do you want us to open the door? Yeah, no worries, open the door. So I'm sitting there. He's talking to me. Wife is next to me. And I'm just there, just... The next thing. Well, I know it's the sort of thing that set me off. What I don't know, what I didn't know, is what happens if you don't do anything about it. So we're talking with that. I just roll forward. I don't topple out of the chair. I just roll forward and basically turn off for about 10 seconds and then come back. So I come back round. The bed has moved a lot closer to me. There are more people in the room. It's like, oh, I went. Sorry about that. So, yeah, because, I know the sort of thing that set me off. So do you want to use the bed? Yes, I'll use the bed. I should have used the bed. So, yeah, get that bit of colour back in my face then, because I've gone the colour of the wall again. So, so we carry on talking. Then she comes back in afterwards because I had a few other questions regarding some of the bits and pieces regarding the op. Anyway, so that was that. Because of me blacking out, we decided, yeah, my wife will drive back. So my wife, to be fair, drove 75 miles back from Gloucester, and she's not passed her test yet. L plates were on the car. I was supervising her best I could. Well, I was awake. I could have done it with a kip, to be honest. But she did really well. I mean, there was rush hour traffic in Gloucester. There was some horrible driving in Gloucester. But she did it. Fair play. Really proud of her. She did really well that day. So there's that. Since then, we've had blood test. Because of the bank holiday Monday, the blood test has to be done on Friday, and for some reason they managed to lose one of the blood tests. So Tuesday morning, I rang the district nurses. Tuesday lunchtime, I drove to the hospital where the district nurses were. They did the blood test there and then, so they were able to rush. They held off on the blood. The bloods normally go from there 1:45 straight to Hereford. So I had to put a hold on that, get the blood test straight downstairs, get them going, and then do a dressing change, which needed to be done anyway. Turned up Wednesday morning. They did turn up. They turned up in the afternoon. So they had 2 lots of blood anyway. So round 4 of chemo has just gone through. That was... It's Saturday now. It's 12:05. That was Wednesday. Same again, it was an 8:30 start, about 2 o'clock finish. Thursday, fluorosil disconnect, about 2:30. So, and round 3 didn't hit me particularly hard. Round 4, I don't think has hit me at all. I mean, obviously I've got this husky voice, which I think is still, I mean, some of it's from the cough. I've had a little bit of a cough still there, which is good. Because if you've got a, raspy voice and something like that, and you've got a cough to go with it, that's good. If you haven't got a cough to go with it, but you do have a tumour somewhere, it's like, has that started putting stuff out that shouldn't have? So, so I'm glad I got a bit of a cough. There is a little bit of a cough. Honest. So, one thing I did have as well out of the meeting in Gloucester is a date for the op. The op has been penciled in for the 22nd of July. So there'll be no chemo in my system by then. So I've had the 4 rounds of chemo. There's going to be another PET CT scan to see how it's gone on. So they have a better idea of how well the treatment's gone and what they're going to be picking at and make sure it's not spread. So I've not had a date for that yet. The consultant who I spoke to on Tuesday, who gave the go-ahead for the treatment on Wednesday, he was surprised that I hadn't had another date for that yet. So I think he's going to be getting on the case for that. So that's probably going to be down the Heath again, I think. Hope it is. It's a chance to go back down to South Wales and it's free parking. So we shall see. So I think the next update will be from the PET scan, the PET CT scan. Oh, well, I've got another meeting booked with the specialist in Hereford, and that's on the 17th of this month. So that'll be, presumably they'll have some results of some sort by then. I assume there'll be a PET CT booked in before then. This is like, it's the Tuesday ones, but it's going to be in person again. These Tuesday ones for the chemo, the first one was in person, second, third, fourth, they've all been over the phone. Just a quick 5 minutes. Yeah, your bloods are all okay. Here's your time for tomorrow. So it's been back in person again, and I'll let you know what happens. Actually, there is something else I wanted to cover, and that's with the PICC line. That little cap thing, that little the bit they change. One brand is called Luer lock, and I've got one here, which has been taken out of service. And I've also got a different model as well. They both basically do the same thing. So let's take a close-up look at these. So I'll go back into my usual down on the desk view of this, and we'll see what they look like. Right, so I've got a tray of water, I've got a syringe, and I've got these 2 units. So we can take a look. Just try and get that close up. You can see what it's actually got. It's a valve on the end. So in normal operation, nothing will come in or out of this. This is normally plugged into the end of your PICC line, and it's sealed, it's capped. So nothing will come in or out. And the same thing you can see with the purple one as well. Now, if I do this, you see in that? Yeah, you can just about see, if I can focus in on that, there is a section inside which moves. There's a whole plunger bit there, and this also has a similar one, except you can't see it. So normally that will screw on, and that's now opened the valve. And the same with this one, screw on, opens the valve. So you can take your syringe. So this is attached to your PICC line. You can take the syringe and push that in. That'll screw on. At this point now the valve is open, so you can actually draw. You could draw bloods, or you could be injecting drugs or saline. You can do both. And same with this one. If I just screw that into place, again, little bit harder with this one actually. The purple one does seem to have a slightly larger bore, so it's easier to actually get fluid through. This one does seem a bit harder to deal with. But yeah, and when you take that off, then that's just sealed up, locked in again. You can give that a bit of a wipe over with an antiseptic wipe, and we are good to go. So at the moment, I actually have got a purple one in at the moment. Let me just check. Yeah, you can just about see if I bring the camera back up a bit. See my arm. Where are we? Let's zoom out. Just about to see the top of the purple lock there, which is you're looking at that. So that's connected in and then plumbed in. Simple. Tuesday, 17th of June. I've had another appointment today in Hereford Hospital. It's in-person appointment this time. Apparently I'm doing well. I'm feeling a bit tired. So they're going to do some blood tests anyway. Apparently my blood tests have been pretty stable throughout the treatment. I've obviously been having just a yay or nay for the treatment the next day. But I asked and they said, yeah, they've been pretty much stable throughout the treatment, which is good. Apparently on the last one, my platelets were a little low. It means I'm more at risk of bleeding. It affects your clotting capabilities. So they've taken some bloods, but what they've also done today is removed the PICC line. Because they consider it a source of infection, and especially the fact that the other end of the PICC line is right by the heart, they'd rather remove this. It saves on them having to get the district nurse in once a week doing the cleaning, so there's the costs of that involved as well. So PICC line removed. I'll get a new PICC line then after the op. And in fact, it'll be 4 to 8 weeks after the op. I'll go back for the round 5 to 8 of chemotherapy. So there'll be a PICC line in for that. They'll just do a new line for that one. And apparently they can use the same arm, the same vein, so it's not a big deal. So that's where we are now. Next, so far, I've got an appointment, telephone consultation with the consultant, and that's 8th of July, I think, either 6th or 8th of July. And I'm still awaiting an appointment for PET CT scan, which they will need before the op. So they're going to be chasing that and find out what on earth's going to happen with that, when. So that's where we are for now. Some news with my PICC line. I did manage to whack the PICC line, and what happened then is a few days later, I'd obviously done treatment and they needed to change the Luer lock on the end of the line, and the Luer lock would not come off the PICC line. It took 2 of us. I was holding the end of the PICC line. The district nurse was trying her damnedest to pull this thing off, and it would not twist off. It was locked on fast. So I thought, it's going to have to be dealt with at the hospital. Yesterday, nurse came and did the dressing change. Straight off, effortless. Sometimes apparently they just work themselves loose. So there we go. But she did the dressing change yesterday, and the whole thing came off today. So there we go. So I need to contact the district nurses to let them know that they don't need to do any dressing changes for a little while yet. Now, what I forgot to mention just then, well, I say just then, it's actually a week ago. This is now the 24th. Is these Chloraprep things. Now, these were supplied along with the dressings, and these, I can actually take this one apart without wasting, because these were actually recalled. So this was going to go in the bin. The district nurse brought some fresh ones. And what they do is they use these for cleaning around the where the PICC line has gone in. And incidentally, where's the scar? there, that. So we'll bring that up closer. You can hardly see now where there was a PICC line in for 2 months. When the PICC line was in, they changed the dressing once a week, and part of what they do is they use one of these Chlorapreps to clean. So they take the old dressing off and they use this to clean around. And what happens is you squeeze that. Oops, hang on, I think that's done it. And that will release, should release, there we go, an alcohol solution into the sponge. So I can feel that starting to soak through now. Sometimes they'll just look like this. Sometimes they'll have the orange versions, so you can see where you've painted. And basically, see, I can't see much tape left now, but you'd basically use that over the and around the actual the wound, if you like, cleaning any sort of dried bits. Sometimes you get a little bit of blood on them, so you clean out to make sure it's all sterile before putting on your next dressing. Like I said, something that you clean around. Sometimes they'd actually clean under it, which is a little bit disconcerting because you actually see a hole that they're working around. So, But yeah, so you clean around it. I'm just using this to see if it'll clean off the remnants of tape, and it is, because there is some. I've still got some bits of tape adhesive on my arm. But yeah, so that's what these are. You squeeze the sides, and they then release the vial, which then soaks the sponge. So yeah. So this is one of the waiting rooms for another PET CT scan. This is basically a lead line room. I had the injection in my arm about just over an hour ago, so about another half an hour. They'll look in through that door and take me through to the, for B first, and then through to the scanning room. So yeah, this is it's not much stuff to read, because I've got my iPad, and there's a camera, so if there's any trouble in here, they can watch me. But yeah, that's about it. Well, that's the scan done. I went in a little bit early. I came out just before 2 o'clock. So yeah, not too bad. About 2.5 hours all told in the building, I think. And yes, so that's the next PET CT scan done. So we'll get a better idea now of how well the chemotherapy has targeted the tumour. That's all done. So I got my food, because I hadn't anything to eat since a jam tart last night, although I have been eating the fries as I was driving here. I was trying to find somewhere shady to park, because it is, I mean, the temperature gauge on the dash was saying 28 degrees. So I thought I'd find somewhere shady to park, and what shadier place to park than here in Treforest. So actually, one of the bad things said about Treforest, I used to go to university here. So so yeah, so we'll hear now, week after next, in what should be a telephone call. Hopefully they don't change it to an in-person one, because that means there's something they don't want to say on the phone. So we shall see. Fingers crossed. Hi, it's Saturday, the 12th of July. This week has been a little busy. I've had a telephone consultation with the staff in Hereford, just checking in, see how I am, see how my energy levels are, and they're absolutely fine. Because this isn't one of those cancers where you're in constant pain, or where you're so tired you can barely lift your head off the pillow. It gets in the way of me eating when it feels like that's what it is. That's all it is. That's the only symptom I'm getting. So yeah, all good. I've had some appointments in. first of all, I've now had the date pending. So the operation date was going to be the 22nd. It's now going to be the 29th. I only found that out by querying some of the other appointments, which I'll mention in a second. Because the letter was apparently sent out on the 1st of July. Today's the 12th, and it's not been delivered. But fortunately, I do have an electronic copy, so I do know when I'm going in, and it's the 29th. Bright and early, 7:30 in the morning. Great. So, on the 1st of July, I had an appointment through for Gloucester, in-person consultation again, for the 17th at 2 o'clock. Great. On the 2nd of July, I had an appointment through for a double consultation in Cheltenham on the 17th of July. Same time, same date. So it's like, right, something's got to give. So I rang them. They said they'd get in touch with Gloucester because it was hard to try and, because there's a double appointment again. It's one of these anaesthetist ones. It's 1 at 1 and 1 at 2. So hard to shift there. It's easier to shift the Gloucester one. So I chased Gloucester as well the next day. Next day that comes moved to the 24th. Moves on a week. Phone call this Wednesday. Any chance of rescheduling it for tomorrow? Check my calendar. Yeah, great. So the 24th meeting is now done. Again, it was with the doctor, the surgeon. Didn't pass out this time. I did make comment on it. So yeah, so that's all good. Turns out it's a 9-hour op. I was chatting to him because I found online that it's a 9-hour op. He said, yeah, it takes 3 hours to do the lower, the keyhole stuff. So, so yeah, so there'll be two surgeons doing the work. One leads doing the lower gap bit, and then they swap roles for the top bit. But they do have a break part way through because it's a long run. So, so there was that. So it's all good. Good little chin wag, and I come away with another goodie bag. So this is for mainly for the night of the operation, but there's some bits leading up as well. While I was there, I did have questions regarding what sort of stuff I should take. Obviously, you take yourself. What do you take in terms of clothes? Do you take underwear? Do you take socks? Do you take full change of clothes and whatnot? And yeah, take some underwear. Take plenty of underwear, take plenty of socks, and take some pajamas, and possibly, if you want, take your own towels so you haven't got to use the hospital cardboard ones. So anyway, what we have in here are Corsadil mouthwash to be used. You basically use that in the morning, make sure you're all fresh and whatnot, so there's no bacteria, or as few bacteria as possible in your mouth when you're heading in for the op. So that's one way of keeping yourself clean. There is omeprazole, 40 milligrams. Take one of these the night before the surgery. Now I've already got omeprazole 20s. This is a super duper one to make sure you've got even less stomach acid when they go in and start hacking your stomach open. There is some stuff with the contact numbers, cancer nurse specialist, the switchboard and whatnot. So we've got some contact numbers, some exercises and things. Oh, that's on the back. It's an enhanced recovery protocol, patient diary. So, all right, I've got both my surgeons listed, so I know who's going to be going. Oh, wow. Wow. I had not read this bit. We'll be aiming for you to be ready to go home from day 7. Post. From day 7 after your surgery. Now, they will probably keep me in a little longer than that, because what they want to do is make sure you are ready to go home. Because I'm like 2 hours away from the hospital, what they don't want to do is send you home and have to blue light you back in. They'd rather make sure you are properly ready, don't want to see your face again. So yes, this enhanced recovery protocol has, it's a diary, all the stuff about visitors when you're in the intensive care thing, your own activity diary, on about exercise outside every day. So yeah, so this is for me to do my exercise. I assume exercise leading up. I will have to read this. Oh, they ask you to isolate at home for 14 days before your operation. Spot all the COVID stuff there. Yeah, I think that's a bit early. That's coronavirus special methods. There is a pre-op pack here as well, which includes that omeprazole, the mouthwash, a spirometer as well. I shall show you that in a sec. So yes, there's various stuff here. So this is on about drips, drains, tubes, and all that good stuff. So good stuff for me to read through. I've got this stuff, this Nutritia pre-op lemon flavoured drink. There's 2 here. These are to be drunk in the morning. So as soon as I get up in the morning before the op, get those down the hatch for 6:30, and I have another 4 to be drunk the night before. So there's a pint altogether of this basically carbohydrate, a clear carbohydrate drink. It's lemon flavoured. So basically a souped up lemon squash. So there's those. There's what's this? Some paperwork. Some small print. Oh, it's the stuff about the omeprazole. It's the bit you never read in the omeprazole box. And there is the OPA guide to life after esophageal surgery. Definitely have to look at this. I mean, this, well, obviously it's inevitable. So yeah, so it tells you lots of things. Yeah. So I have to read about that, see what I got. I'll have to go moving forward. And there's also this thing, this spirometer. This is a lung function exercise thing, and what you're supposed to do is it blowing? Yeah, I think it's blowing. You blow, and you see it shows your lung capacity, so you can do. Oh, hang on, is that the right way? Why is that not going? Yeah, you got to inhale, not exhale. So it's blowing out then. So what you can do is you can inhale with this, which is easy enough. But what you're supposed to do with this to get used to surgery and whatnot is you keep this indicator here between those arrows, and that's a lot harder because you're not just blasting in, you're modulating your breath intake. So like that. So exercises with that to get ready for when you're all tubed up, and because obviously after the op they got to reinflate the lung, so you need to be able to, get your lungs back working again, get this one back off strike. So yeah, so that's my goodie bag. It was mentioned that the PET CT scan showed signs of improvement, which is good, but I pointed out to them, it's like I knew there were signs of improvement, I felt the signs of improvement, so there wasn't any anxiety there. It could have thrown some curveballs. Good news is it hasn't. So yeah, so next meeting now is on the 17th in Cheltenham again, and I shall give you a follow-up after that. Now, looking more into this enhanced recovery after surgery thing, it covers, besides the coronavirus special measures, it's got an activity diary for the 14 days leading up. They expect you to do some indoor exercise, some outdoor exercise. You note the number of steps if you've got a watch that actually counts them, or if you've got a step counter. So exercise outside every day for up to an hour. And while you're in the house, do a simple 10-minute workout. Well, I've got the exercise bike, so chances are I'll be doing a lot of stuff on the bike. But also making note of step counts as well if I can. It's also got stuff about nutrition. They want you to keep your weight up when you're on chemotherapy and whatnot. But also they don't want to be, when they're doing the keyhole surgery, they don't want to be diving through Mr. Creosote to get there. So you got to sort of keep it in on an even keel, really. So I might actually try and sort of maybe lose a bit of weight before the thing, but keep my exercise up. So there's stuff regarding day before your surgery, the drinks and what you're going to do, what to expect when you actually get there, and also then after your surgery, what tubes you'll have fitted all together, and what to expect then on the different days. So I'm going to skip past all the stuff about exercise, personal care, skipping personal care, dirty sod. No, there's stuff that tells you, the nurses will assist you to wash yourself until you manage on your own. Once most of the drip strings and tubes are removed, you're encouraged to wear your own clothes. So remember to take your own clothes. But then we have the different days. So day 1, they'll check your pain control is effective, check your blood pressure, sit you upright in the special bed, start feeding through the feeding tube, and put all your drips and pumps on a drip stand. You'd be expected to sit out in the chair for at least 4 hours and walk at least 10 meters twice. It doesn't sound like much, 10 meters, twice. But remember, you were being bashed around quite a bit. This lung was taken out of service for the operation. So yeah, there's a lot to, it's going to be apparently harder than it sounds. We shall see. Complete your breathing and shoulder exercises. That's where this thing comes in again. Because you've got to take this into the hospital. You're not just using their systems to breathe. You'll be doing some breathing exercises. And you'll be drinking 50 ml of water per hour. Getting water down the hatch straight away. No change to your drip drains and tubes. Day 2, much of the checks. 3 walks. Chances are you may have the tube into your stomach taken out. If it's bringing out below 300 ml. Now whether that's per hour, per day, I don't know. They'll increase the amount of food going through the feeding tube. So you'll start to ramp that back up because your guts will apparently have been on strike. So, you'll want to ramp it back up, gradually getting them used to having food again. No change to the chest drains. Day 3, that's day 5, paper sticking together, come on. Day 3, much again, 4 walks this time. Tube, if it's still down, again might come out. It might take one of the chest drains out if it's not draining much, and you should have an x-ray if they do take it out. No change to the feeding tube. Day 4, that is on the ward. They have the first 2 days, according to this, they've got the first 2 days on your intensive care type thing. Then it's back onto the general ward by the looks of it. So day 3 and day 4 back on the ward. Day 4, 5 walks. Crank up the food on the feeding tube. Might take the chest drain out again. Might be able to drink clear fluids of water besides what you've already been doing. Squash or black coffee or tea. No milk in it. So, as you said, clear fluids. So there's that. Not much else to report on that. Day 5, the epidural. One is giving you a numb band. They'll take that out. There'll be a central line for doing feeding in paracetamol and whatnot, and that's apparently going to be in the neck. It's like a shorter version of the PICC line. That should come out. Chest drains, again, might take a drain out. If you're tolerating the clear fluids, you'll be able to have free fluids, as it's referred to. So you can have tea or coffee with milk this time. Then day 6, you will have, there were six walks on day 5. 6 walks on day 6 as well, so they're not overdoing it on there. But, and both of these, you'll learn how to give your fragment injections, which is the anti-clotting stuff to make sure it's to reduce blood clots. It does get a mention in here. So you'll learn how to give those injections yourself. It's going to be an auto-injector apparently, so it's nothing too stressful. It should be, go for your bum or whatever. Just hit the button, bang, done. So day 6, you'll also be taught how to care for your feeding tube. may not be using it at that point. And you should be increased at this point to a pureed diet. Hopefully for me that'll be soup. Don't give me a pureed chicken dinner. It'll be back up. So that's day 6. Day 7, if your blood pressure, temperature, pulse and breathing are all stable, all your drains have been pulled out, all your wounds are healing well, all your pain is well managed, you're able to walk, you're able to manage the diet that's been agreed with the dietitian, you manage the feeding tube if necessary and the equipment's been provided, you're able to do your own jabs, which are required for the month. And you've got someone to support you at home. Yep, I've got one. She'll be sticking about. Nobody has keen concerns about your fitness. Any social issues have been identified and addressed, and they're happy to send you home 2 hours. And they're happy that they're not going to have to blue light you back in again 2 hours if things go wrong. If all that's good, day 7, home you go. I expect to be kept in a little longer than that. Ideally 10 days, because that's when my wife and my mother-in-law and the dog are heading back home anyway. So they've got to be taken home. If I leave the same day, I can go the same time. Otherwise, it's another trek. Someone's got to come up and fetch me. So hopefully, I'll be on day 10. Any days earlier, I suppose if necessary, we can all pack up and bugger off home early. So we shall see. And then it says about after discharge. So we've got mentions about complications. If your wound becomes red or painful or discharge develops, might need antibiotics. If there's a problem, if the joint in the gullet narrows due to scar tissue forming, so that's sending me back to, pre-chemo time, they may do an endoscopy and a dilation. If they do that, it's general anaesthetic. They're not messing around sending the camera down with it in the state it's in. You get switched off for the duration. Warn you about DVT, because obviously you've been sitting around in bed. They do give you these TED leggings for which you'll be wearing throughout in the hospital to minimise that, because you're sitting around relatively idle, maybe just as idle as normal, you never know. So there's warnings of blood clots, what you can expect if you get shortness of breath, chest pain, coughing up blood, or a painful red, swollen, hot leg, and difficulty bearing weight on it. So there's things like that. They're covered in here. Fever, shivering, abdominal or chest pain which isn't controlled by the normal painkillers. There's all stuff like that which might end up seeing you back in. But after discharge, then seeing with chest pain, you could be signs of a chest infection or a problem with the lung. So again, this is why they're likely to keep me in a little longer, because they know it's a long way to come. It's a 2-hour journey. So yeah. But then they exercise, they encourage activity from day 1 following surgery. So regular light exercise, taking up your hobbies as soon as possible. I'll have to find something to review for YouTube, wouldn't I? Have to find something to take apart. But they'd say that don't undertake heavy lifting until 6 weeks following your surgery. So basically, don't take the mickey. Light duty should be back. Most people are able to return to work within 3 to 6 months following surgery. Now, a lot of my work can be done from home. I can't see me taking 3 to 6 months off work. Daytime TV is drive you back to work TV. That's going to do my head in. There's only so much Homes Under the Hammer that you can watch. So chances are, I expect I'll be in well before 6 months, at least working from home. So yeah, watch this space. So you're likely to feel very tired when you go home, and this is normal. Your body needs a good 6 to 12 months to get over this operation. Now, the doctor did say it'll be like you've been hit by a truck. I'm hoping it's a small truck, a little tuk-tuk, not an Arctic. But yeah, so you basically got to expect to, it'll take a while to get back to normal, and don't overdo it. Don't push yourself harder than get get back healthy at your own pace, not at an accelerated pace. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Just need to just do that. And obviously, a few weeks after the after all this, well, not all this, after the op, I'll be fitted up for a PICC line and back in for rounds 4 to 8. Sorry, I keep looking over there because the screen is right here. This is where I should be looking. So so yeah, that's where we are. So that's the enhanced recovery protocol document. And another document we've got here is the OPA Guide to Life After Esophageal Gastric Surgery, which isn't as bad as you'd think. It can be worse if you have your entire stomach removed. You could have vitamin B12 injections, and obviously that's a big difference. If you've got partial stomach removal, it's a lot less of a crazy change than you'd think, considering you're having a big chunk of pipe out and a big chunk of stomach out. At least according to this book. Again, watch this space. So, Thursday the 17th of July turned into a triple appointment. The double appointment in Cheltenham was preceded by another appointment in Hereford, this time in the urology department, because once again, with the PET CT scan, my prostate has decided to have a bit of a munch on the sugar, and they're not best pleased. So I go in there expecting it to be another quick blood test thing. No, it's consultation, and this time a prostate exam, which sounds horrible. It's more horrible for the doctor who's got to stick his finger in, really. He said at the end of the consultation, do you mind if we do this? I said, well, I got to get to Cheltenham. How long is it going to take? He said, well, 3 minutes. Yeah, well, 3 minutes from dropping your trousers and putting them back up. And at the end of the day, he's only got that much reach. And he hasn't got big fat sausage fingers. It's not like King Charles is doing it. So it really was nothing to write home about, really. It's certainly nothing to worry about. Having a prostate exam, it was very quick and not particularly certainly not painful. So also as a result of that, he's booked me in for an MRI scan. So come to that in a sec. Onwards then to Cheltenham, and it's another round, much the same as the previous anaesthetist one. It was a double appointment. First of all, filling out forms and whatnot, much the same as before, just in case there's any changes since then. And then another one with the anaesthetist, again, much the same as before. Different anaesthetist this time. But yeah, covering some of the stuff. Something about the epidural. They prefer to give you the epidural with you still awake. Simple reason, they want some feedback from you. So if they do, if they go in and they veer off, and literally touch a nerve or get a bit close to a nerve that they shouldn't, you can feed back and tell them, which you can't do if you're out cold. So yeah, hopefully that's not too bad. We shall see. But yeah, nothing much to report from that. Didn't get caught short this time. So yeah, from there then I had to rush from Cheltenham, went back to Hereford because I'd been given the MRI, tick the boxes to make sure there's absolutely nothing in you that the scanner is going to tear out of you form. So to hand that in for them to check over. So that went in, and that was that. Today, the Saturday, the 26th, I went in for that MRI scan. Because they run the MRI scanner at weekends as well. Certainly easier to park in the hospital at weekends. So the MRI scanner, they were just doing the prostate, but it's a long process because they do several scans. A lot of them take 4 or 5 minutes at a time, and it's noisy. It is a noisy beast. You hear whatever test signals, whatever diagnostic frequencies that they're putting into the coils. You hear it; they are noisy. It's like sort of being in the middle of a speaker magnet, and you hear these various tones depending on what they're scanning, and these repetitive tones can go for like 4 or 5 minutes at a time. Some of the shorter ones are about 30 seconds, but there are several which are 4 or 5 minutes long. So altogether, I think it was in for about 40 minutes. They also give a gadolinium contrast agent as well. And that was third time lucky because they couldn't get a vein properly on this arm. They wanted to leave the best veins for the op next week. So they didn't want to nab one of those. So tried this arm, no joy. Tried this arm, no joy. Another nurse came in and went for the back of my hand, which wasn't particularly comfortable. Probably might be a bigger needle than they normally use for saline or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't looking. Might have to be a bigger needle because they wouldn't be able to use a steel needle in there because the MRI machine is going to tear that straight back out. You don't want it, flicking it straight into the magnet. So, but like I said, I wasn't looking at their tools while they were doing that. But it's just a long, boring time in the magnet. So that's where we are now. The next appointment is on Tuesday. I am now officially on sick leave. The next appointment is Tuesday. So Monday I'll head over to Gloucester, and Tuesday morning I go in for the op. So the part 3 of this video will be a little while down the line because it's going to be after the op, and chances are after the last 4 rounds of chemo as well. So, but we'll see. Depends how long it goes. I expect the next rounds of chemo to be much the same as the first round. So I'll be covering, I'd be covering the same ground there. So I expect it'll be, after the op and after the 4 rounds of chemo, and hopefully ring the bell. So I'll see you in part 3. Thanks for watching.